This is Doofy McButterscotch, and we're here to ask her. Ask her? Oh no! There's a fuck up already. Ask. No, that's a fuck up again. Answer some questions. Third time is a charm. We're here to answer some questions. I had a lot of good times doing that Q&A a little bit ago, so now I'm going to tackle some questions that are on the internet that weren't asked to me, but I shall answer them anyway so you can see what my opinion is on the subject. We're going to start off with a big one. What if the Confederacy won? Well, I'm going to tell you my opinion on that. So, for everyone that's going on this channel and doesn't know who I am, I'm Doofy McButterscotch. I'm 20 years old, and I live in the Midwest. So, that tells you a little bit about where my opinion comes from. So, anyway, back to the question. What do I think would have happened if the Confederacy won, or how different would the world be? Well, I think it would be very, very, very different than it is right now. I mean, some people are asking this question more because of Obama and, like, would the economy be better? I don't think it would. I think we'd probably be, if we didn't have the economy problem now, we probably would have had it, because I think there's no way we would have avoided that. I mean, when there's so much money flowing through the system, I mean, it's like impossible to avoid something like that. But Obama sure as hell wouldn't have been president, I can say that much for sure. Would we still have slaves? I really don't think that would have happened. I think right now we'd probably be at the point where we were at the 60s, where everyone was still racist, but we weren't so racist that we had like slaves. There's no way in hell we would have still had slaves now if we had the Confederacy. I mean, that would have been barbaric if we did. If it did last that long, it probably would have lasted maybe 20s, 30s, or 40s, but I can't possibly see it lasting this long. That's for damn sure. I think they probably would have changed it. I mean, that just would have been ridiculous if they still had it. They'd probably still have, like, hired help. Like, there'd still be, I mean, even today, they've still got, like, black maids and black butlers and all that stuff. So that definitely would have still been around. And I know one thing that wouldn't be around: me. I would not be here if the Confederacy won. Am I part black? No, I'm not, but I am part Native American, and my grandfather was a Native American, and it was hard enough for him in the 60s. I mean, my dad tells me about it well, not all the time, but whenever it's appropriate, he'll tell me about that sort of thing, and and of course, my dad is also part Native American, but he looks a lot like a white guy, and my grandma was a white woman, so I mean, that barely happened in the racist times back in the day. But if the Confederacy won, there's no way in hell that relationship would have happened, because it would have been way different with the government and all. It probably would have been illegal for mixed race relationships. I mean, it was frowned upon back in the day, but people still did it, and they got like hate mail and all that stuff. But it definitely would have been illegal if it was a Confederacy, and my grandpa either would have never ended up with my grandma, or something terrible would have happened to him. But I sure as hell wouldn't exist, that's for damn sure. And that would have been a bummer because there's a lot of families and kids that wouldn't exist today. Barack Obama wouldn't exist because he's like a mixed race too, so he would have never been around. So there's a lot of important people that would have existed completely based on the Confederacy. And as far as government goes, I mean, we wouldn't have rap music. All right, that wouldn't have happened. We'd still be having jazz would be as popular as ever. Yeah, rap would be replaced with jazz on the popularity level. I mean, Jay-Z would be playing a saxophone, not mixing rhymes or any of that sort of thing. I mean, that sounds a little ridiculous talking about Jay-Z playing a saxophone. I mean, that just sounds funny to me, but it's probably how it would have happened. If they even allowed black people to be famous by this time. I think they would if it was a Confederacy, because that'd be, you'd just be like avoiding the elephant in the room if there weren't any famous black people around. If the Confederacy won. But let's see, what else would the Confederacy change? Let's see. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's a hell of a lot that I'm missing, but if by some freak chance that I did exist, like if it was just some, I don't know, the world just made a hiccup or some weird shit happened and I existed somehow, I probably wouldn't be racist. I'd be raised to be like one of the unracist guys, but I'd probably still be corrupt. I mean, living in the high school system, I mean, that would have totally been racist, and I probably would have eventually either pretended to be racist. Ah, damn my phone. I'll be back. Or should I say, I'll be back. I'm back. Alright, should I say, here's Doofy. I got 2 movie opportunities there. Okay, anyway, I just thought of this when I was answering that phone call. We would have never had Mind of Mencia or the Dave Chappelle Show, which would have been fucking awesome. I mean, I hate Dave Chappelle. I absolutely hate him because of what he did to all of us. I mean, he gave us such a terrific show, and then he stabbed us in the back, and he would have, and he just faded into obscurity. I mean, you never hear about the guy. I mean, the one good thing that would have happened if the Confederacy was around, and by some freak chance, son of a bitch, back. Yeah, one of the good things that would have happened if by some freak chance they allowed the Dave Chappelle Show on TV in a Confederalist nation, the one good thing that would have happened is instead of that asshole moving to like Africa for a trip or whatever the hell he did after the Dave Chappelle Show, he would have gotten lynched, which I'm not a racist. I don't hate black people. I don't hate any nation, but I think Dave Chappelle deserved to have that happen, if anything, because he was an a-hole, and I can't believe he did that. He should have been executed, because he was a bitch. He was a horrible, horrible person for giving us a really good product and then ripping it right out of our grasp. He deserved to get lynched. But anyway, I'll leave it off with that racist comment. I'm sure some people will take that a little bit too seriously and be like, "Oh, you're a racist. YouTube should take down your channel, you piece of shit. You're a hater." But anyway, it doesn't matter. That is my opinion on that subject. And this is Different Butterscotch signing off. I'll be back with another question next time.